51 days, 51 recipes. This is day one. We're cooking our way through Come Fix You a Plate, food you'll actually cook. And today we're making stovetop beef stew. I always make mine in my Dutch oven, but any large pot will do. We're gonna put just a little bit of oil in the bottom of the pan. Put it on medium-high heat. I got just over a pound of stew meat here. We're gonna throw this into a bowl. I'm gonna give it a generous amount of salt and pepper. Now smush it all up real good. All right, that oil's hot, so the meat's going in. If you need to do this in 2 batches, do that. You just want a single layer on the bottom of your pot. Let them sit there a few minutes. We're not looking to cook them all the way through. We just want to get them real nice and brown on 1 or 2 sides. I just stirred them up. I didn't stress about making sure every piece was turned over. You can do it if you want to. I ain't doing it. I don't put mine on a paper towel because I want all those juices to go back in the pot. Bottom of your pot's gonna be a little brown. That's good, that's what we want. That's where the flavor's at. I'm gonna throw in about a half a stick of butter. If you've been following me for a while, you know I'm a challenge man. I'm turning my heat down on medium-low at this point. Butter's melted and it's kind of frothy, so now I'm gonna put in our flour. I got a whisk and I'm just gonna start combining this. I don't measure my flour. If you're just starting out and you need to, you're gonna want equal parts flour and butter. That's what's gonna make your roux. And when you first put this in, it might be kind of tight and gum up a little bit. Keep stirring it, keep working it. It's gonna loosen up and it's gonna melt in together. And now we're making beef stew, so I'm gonna sit here and stir this for a few minutes because we want kind of a darker brown roux for this. Now when this roux is ready, I'm gonna be adding some beef broth to it. This is what I grabbed today. Sometimes I use beef stock. It's whatever you prefer. But I do always try to get unsalted because I'm gonna be adding some seasoning packets to this, and then I can adjust the salt how I want from there. Okay, here's what my roux looks like. You'll see what color that is. I'm good with that. I'm not gonna add all my beef broth at one time. I'm probably gonna put in half. And I'll whisk this together until it smooths out. This whole carton's in, and when it comes back to a bubble, we're gonna add our seasoning and then our meat. I add in a package of beef stew seasoning mix. Your choice, whatever kind you wanna use. And a package of Lipton onion soup mix. If you wanna use the beefy onion or the onion mushroom, they're all good. If you've been following me for a while, you already know. I'd be lost without this stuff. I'd just be sprawled out in a ditch somewhere. I'm gonna go in and taste it and see if I wanna add any more salt or pepper or anything to it. I want just a tiny bit more salt. Now my meat's going back in with all that juice. Now it's going all the way down on a simmer. I'm gonna cover it up, but I always leave mine vented in the back, just a teeny bit. And that's so a little bit of the moisture can escape and it reduces down just a little bit and thickens. I put baby carrots in mine. If you wanna add potatoes, whatever you wanna do. Now's the time to pull them out of the fridge though. I leave them on the counter. That way when we add them to our stew, they're not gonna be freezing cold and slow down our whole process here. We're gonna let this pot simmer and just do its thing for about 2 or 3 hours. Just make sure you stir it once in a while. And if you're wondering why, out of all the recipes in this cookbook, we decided to kick this thing off with beef stew, it's because we got all the way down in the 60s this week in South Mississippi. Even though I know it's a false fall, we're gonna go ahead and call it spooky season, and we're going all in with the soups and the stews and the chilies. Here it is. I cooked it for 2.5 hours. I put the carrots in. I let it go for about another 3 hours. This is good every time. You cannot f this up. You're putting that seasoning in there so it's got all the flavor, and you're cooking it long enough that this meat ain't got no choice but to be tender. This meat, this ain't meat. If you need help cooking a pot of rice, I posted that this past Tuesday. All right, y'all come fix you a bowl of this and I'll see you here tomorrow. We're making, come fix you a bowl of this and I'll see you here tomorrow. We're gonna make, all right, y'all come fix you a bowl of this and I'll see you back here tomorrow. We're gonna make cheesy broccoli, cheesy crunchy chicken, cheesy crunchy broccoli chicken casserole. Final answer.